Evil Blanket Fish has awoken.
Hey Nami, how you doing? So, after my rant yesterday about how unfair this game started getting towards the end, I did start looking into it. And yeah, apparently I am pretty underleveled. Apparently I've been going through almost the entire game underleveled. But that's where we left off yesterday, and then I went back. I made some better gear with the stuff that I got in the final dungeon, and did some grinding, so I basically gained 4 levels on the jobs that I've been using. I also found another dungeon behind one of the doors. I checked all the ones that were available to me, and there was one of them that wasn't a boss fight, it was actually a dungeon. So I saved that part for stream. Figure do that before we go back and try to refight the bosses. I believe it was this one? I just remember that the door that had the dungeon behind it was named Yggdrasil. Yeah, it's this one. So we can clear out this dungeon, get any drops that are in it. I'm not sure that it'll help us to make anything more useful. But essentially what I made. Like, I had this made before and it was just sitting in the box. And I basically used up all of my gems getting resistances up on. I was able to make two of the S-class armor and max them out. But the other one might not be completely maxed out. And then I just, since it's an S-class armor, that's the best as it's gonna get. I just started pumping gems into the resistances. And then any leftovers I put into the headpiece, and then any that were, I had 100 between these two, I started pumping into the weapon. I combined it with one of these, because normally this does not have a special ability. So I combined it with one of these to give it the boost your movement speed by 25%. This I had found in the final dungeon, so I just maxed it out. Okay, yeah, there's still 14 missing from this armor, so maybe we'll get drops where I'll be able to max that out. But yeah, that was the new gear that I made, and then like I said, I gained... Took about 2 hours worth of grinding to gain 4 levels, so yeah, this is not... Grinding in this game is not friendly. Like, it's slow.
Go! I'm sorry, but... Go!
I figure we'll go through this dungeon and then we'll take another crack at the final dungeon, see if we can beat the last 2 bosses in there.
Go!
Although now that I'm in here and killing stuff, I'm starting to think that this might not lead to much. Everything in here seems to be like B class. Yeah. No, just for... like, I'm almost halfway to leveling. Kind of in between a third and a half. And I still need 17,500 experience points to go up. The place that I had been grinding, which was basically about the best I could find, the normal enemies were dropping like 330 or 360 per kill. In here, they're only doing 144. I mean, feel free to do the numbers for yourself, just when I say how long it takes to grind out a level.
Go! I'm in your debt.
Because, like, according to when I was actually sitting there and reading the FAQ and everything, they suggest going into the final boss at like level 50. And apparently, I had been anywhere from 4 to 8 levels lower than I'm supposed to be at every point in this game, almost. So you're supposed to be doing a lot of grinding, apparently, in this that I just wasn't doing. And also because the grinding is not fast. Hey Ragnar, how you doing? But since this is a dungeon that we have access to, I'll go through it, even though now that I'm in here, it is definitely something that should have been done maybe 3 or 4 dungeons ago. It's not really going to help me much now.
First move wins. Right there. Take that. I'm sorry, but... There. Thanks. There. Right there. Hey, go!
I did also go back to the Desert Cube
Right
to
there.
find the grave for Hinito's master. It was actually a different one than the one for Yasato. It was kind of off to the side. So I can't actually make use of that power grass that I just got. Get a stat up item.
You! First move wins! Go!
But yeah, basically just did that, made some better equipment out of what I got from the final dungeon, and then grinding about 2.5 hours worth. And like I said, 2.5 hours worth of grinding, and I only got 4 levels out of it.
Right there. Go! Go! First move wins! Go! Go! Take that! Right there. I'm sorry, but... You! What do you say? Right there. First move wins! Go! They're blowing! Take that. I'm sorry, but... Back out! There! Go! I'm sorry, but... That's it! Go!
Now, I do remember there was something I could make with a rusty blade, but I don't think it would be an upgrade at this point. It was just that I didn't have it at the time.
Take that. Hey, I'm in your debt. First move wins.
I don't need any more silver dust anyway. Yeah, and grinding in this one is miserable. Like, I couldn't find a place that was actually giving out a decent amount of XP. Like every place I looked was basically like having to kill 100, 120 enemies to get a level.
Go! First move wins. move wins.
And this place isn't much better. This is actually something that, from the enemies that are in here, this is something I should have done probably before I even finished the element cube. But I figured I'd just run through it before we go back to the final dungeon. That I actually do need for something. I don't remember what, but that's something that I don't have. Whether or not it's something I'll use is a different story, but it's something it'll make something that I haven't been able to make yet.
First move wins. There. I'm in your debt. Right there. Go. I'm sorry, but go.
I mean, it's fun at times. It's not fun when you're fighting something that's way stronger than you that can run circles around you. Which, apparently, the way stronger part has been the fact that I've been going through this game under-leveled pretty much since the halfway point. Because I never bothered to grind.
Go.
I feel like there's definitely something in these dead ends. But hell, even when I can see the chest, sometimes it's hard getting them to open. Just because they want you to be like almost pixel perfect standing facing in front of it. Plenty of this. That is something that I haven't gotten any. As I said, I'm almost positive that I'm leaving something behind in there, but I'm not gonna spend all day rubbing up against random pixels till it finally decides that I'm flush with the chest to actually open it.
First move wins.
Like I said, throughout this playthrough, there's been plenty of times where I can see the chest, and it still takes 3 or 4 tries to line up perfectly to open it. Alright, what's the boss in this place? Who bird?
Come on. First move wins.
I'm in your debt.
Literally what its name is Who bird.
Go for it. I'm sorry, but right there. I'm sorry.
What do you say?
Go. Come on.
Hey,
I'm sorry, but
go. What do you say? That works well.
move wins. Go. Right there. I'm sorry, but
Go. Go.
go. We're getting there. As planned.
Hey Kaz, how you doing? No, it's from 13 Sentinels. That's like, I guess like a video call picture of them. Alright. Well, that was the only other dungeon that I was able to find going through the doors. All the rest of them are just bosses that annihilate you. And like I said, I probably could have done that dungeon way earlier because it was real easy now that I went through it. I don't think Kaz has a PS4 or a Switch. I think he just plays PC and what you can emulate on PC. So technically he could play Switch, but the Switch emulator is a huge pain in the ass. To set up, at least. Unless they've tweaked it. I remember once I did try to set it up, and it was a lot of hoops you had to run through to get it to work. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, because they just started it, so... Like, they're definitely not optimized as well as they could be yet. Alright, so now both of the S rank armors I have are maxed out. That's what it was a Berserk Axe, Rusty Blade, and the Warrior's Vessel. But it's B rank, so definitely not an upgrade. Actually, not too bad. So that weapon is basically go through that dungeon, because most of the things to make it were in that dungeon. Yeah. It's probably a good idea that I didn't go through with trying to emulate anything on Switch either, because Nintendo is really vindictive. Randomly. It definitely seems very random, but they can be very vindictive. Hey, Blueheart, how you doing? Yeah, I think we're gonna be finishing it today. Basically just doing a last run over of anything I can create before I go back to the last dungeon. I'm doing good. Alright. Trying to remember how we even get back to the last dungeon, but it's through the first dungeon. The next one, it was redeemed by a Renji. It's going to be the last story for Wii.
Go!
This is not the right way out of town. So, essentially 2 Mistwalker games in a row. way was it? Oh, do you? I think this is the way in from the hole. Yeah, that is the thing. If you play enough JRPGs, you definitely do start to hear similarities in a lot of songs, especially, you know, obviously if they're done by the same composer, they have their style, but even among games with different composers, you can kind of hear them influencing each other. So the left side is the one that we did already. So now we have to make our way back to the second boss, the boss on the right side. But this will be a good gauge as to
What do you say?
how much power the new equipment and the 5 levels has given us versus before.
Join me!
I'm in your debt.
Okay, so the difference is significant because I definitely wouldn't have been able to just stand there and fight them before. I would have gotten murdered immediately.
First move wins!
Go.
Now I'm... Okay, there's a big difference. Yeah, because I even commented yesterday when I was coming through here, every fight felt like a boss. Like it was hard to even go through a fight without having at least someone go down once. We also haven't gotten to the stronger enemies yet.
Perfecto!
I'm in your debt.
There! You okay?
Well,
You! There!
I'm in your debt.
You okay?
Alright, so it's definitely a lot better, but just for the fact that these guys put paralyze on you, I still shouldn't take it for granted.
You! Take that! Perfecto!
Go.
You okay? Can't you lose you? Take that. I'm sorry, but... You okay?
That works well.
Both.
You okay?
That works
I didn't want to, but I had to leave the dungeon and go back to town. So I was able to make some better gear with the stuff that I got in this dungeon. And then I also spent about 2 hours off stream grinding to gain about 4 levels. Which I didn't know was going to make this much of a difference. Probably has more to do with the gear than it does the levels.
Don't overdo it.
That works well. Go.
You. Take that. You.
What do you say?
Join me.
You.
I'm sorry,
Go.
You.
Go.
Take that. Don't overdo it.
That works well. Go.
Right there.
That's it.
You.
Go. Go.
You okay?
That works well.
Don't overdo it.
That works well.
Ragna is definitely a bit more critical than I am. I'll usually if I start something, it has to be absolutely terrible for me to not finish it. I'm usually pretty set on finishing the games I start.
That works well.
Join me.
I'm in your debt.
Take that. There.
Hey Kyoko, how you
Join
doing?
me.
That works well.
Possible. Take that.
Go.
Oh, healer down.
You okay?
That works well. That works well. Go.
There. 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 First one wins. Take that. You okay?
That works well.
You okay?
I'm in your debt. Come on. That works well.
Alright. Back to this boss.
I'm in your debt.
Come on.
I'm in your debt.
Go for it. Don't overdo it.
Hey, that works well.
You. There. Go. First move wins. Go. You okay?
That works well.
There. Go.
Hey,
There. You okay?
hey, I'm in your debt. Hey,
Take that.
Yep. AI allies just sit in the middle of an AoE that's gonna murder them.
Go. Come on.
I hate the fact that that stuns even when you're blocking.
Go. Join me.
I'm in your debt.
Come on. You. Go. Whoa.
Hey,
Go. Come on.
I'm in your debt. There.
Go for it.
Hey, go. Hey, go. Overflowing.
We're getting there. You okay? As
That
planned.
works well.
Actually fairly easy in comparison to what it was yesterday.
Join me.
I'm in your debt.
Alright, so all that's left is the final boss. Looks like we'll be finishing this early and probably starting on last story today.
Come on.
That works well. That works well.
Right there.
What do you say?
Go. I'm sorry, but Right there. I'm sorry, but... Go! Go! There! Go! There! Hup. Take that.
Hey!
Go! Go! Join me!
That works well. I'm in your debt.
Take that. I'm sorry, but... Go! Not bad. Hup. Hup. There!
Go!
First move wins! Hup. Take that. Go! Don't overdo it!
That works well.
Hup. You! There! Right there. I'm sorry, but... Hup. I'm sorry, but... Go! There! Right there.
Hey!
First move wins! Go!
Oh, I didn't see. Was there a switch on the other side? Was.
Right there. Perfecto! There! Go! Right there.
What do you say? Hey!
Hup.
Double checking to see if I missed any. I guess maybe there's more switches in another room that'll light these up, and then this will be a portal.
Go! First move wins! Go! Take that! You! Hup. Don't overdo it!
That works well.
There! Go! Go! First move wins! Hup. You! Hup. There! that. First move wins.
There! Go!
You.
Go! Hey! Hey!
First move wins.
Hey! Go!
Take that. I'm sorry.
Go!
You.
Hey! Go!
There. Take that.
Hey!
Join me.
That works well!
First move wins.
Go!
Whoa.
Hey!
You.
Go!
Join me.
Right there!
You.
Oh, so not a portal, just chests. Let's go back for him. Damn, forgot to fill my water before I started stream. I have to do that on break or between games, whichever comes first. Well, now I'm kinda tempted to go back again just to turn something S rank. I could make the weapon I'm using S rank. Though I'm not sure if I have enough to actually raise its attack up to max.
Right there.
I'm in your debt!
You okay?
Go! Work well! Go! Hey! Go!
Don't overdo it.
I'm in your debt, hey?
Yeah, let's go back and make my weapon S rank. Hell, we can just run past the enemies on the way back. We've already got all the chests. Or at least all the ones that matter. Is that apple? I don't have anything else to pump into it. I doubt it, since I'm pretty sure I already bought them out. See if there's any one-handed swords in the store, just to get... Nope. Well, 159 is still a lot better than 110. Just couldn't get up to the max of 200. Alright, let's go for the Dark Souls speedrun strat.
First move wins.
Hey, Invalid, how you doing? Oh yeah, we've already cleared out the final dungeon. I just went back because I got an item to upgrade. Basically to upgrade the class of one of my items, so I made my weapon S rank.
That's it!
Oh no!
You.
Hair life. Thank you. That pushed me a few steps closer.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah, we basically just got to the save point right before the final boss and went back to use that item.
I'm in your debt.
And then we're just running past everything on our way back. How you doing, Webon? Dead end, huh? Looks like this is the last stop. Nene. So you made it here safely. Alright, Nene, tell me. What's this thing I'm supposed to defeat? Look in front of you. Do you know what's giving you the headache, or you just come out of nowhere? Well, it's more like a recording or an AI of Nene. Which at the end of Blue Dragon Plus, we did know that Nene had an AI. But yeah, first game, Nene's the villain. Second game, redemption arc for Nene. And then third game, he's kind of mentoring the player to what he has to do. What's this? It's the box of ordeals. Ordeals? If you open that box, you yourself will appear. You can defeat yourself, your light will increase, and this will enable you to give your shadow ultimate powers. Alright, you mean I have to defeat myself? Seppuku time. That's right. The evil heart, betrayal, hatred, distrust of other people, that which exists in everyone's own heart, that is the most terrifying opponent of all for anyone.
Overcome it!
In most games, this is the prerequisite to fighting the final boss, not the final boss. What happened? I get catapulted into another dimension? I remember opening the box of ordeals, and then... What's that? Quick, what Super Saiyan level is pink? It's the other me, the weak heart inside me. Can't afford to lose this battle. I'm going to destroy you and protect this planet. Protect everyone on it, no matter what. Let's go. This is the final battle. Alright, Blue Heart, sleep well. We'll see you later.
works well. Come on.
I'm sorry, but
Go.
you,
Hey, go.
you, you. There.
Come on. That works well.
I'm sorry, but there.
That's it. Go.
Join me.
That works well.
There.
Right there.
Will you stop interrupting my casting?
Don't overdo it.
I'm in your debt. Go.
There.
Hey.
There. There.
Hey.
Don't overdo it.
I'm in your debt. Go. Come on. Hey. That works well.
There.
Hey.
I'm sorry, but
Go there.
thanks. You. There.
Go.
Join me.
I'm in your debt.
Don't overdo it.
That works well.
Take that.
That's it.
You. There. You.
Oh, crap.
There.
No.
I'm sorry, but
Oh, that time it didn't give us the weird camera angle when he did that.
No. I'm in your debt.
you.
Go. Go. Overflowing. I'm in your debt.
Next form? Did I win? Alright, I'm going to take the Egg of Light and...
My light. My shadow.
Go!
Something could still happen. kind of did it wrong. Nene said he was supposed to envelop like everything that the egg enveloped with his shadow. Instead, he just kind of punched it and cracked it. The only Dragon Ball. Wow, so yeah, one phase boss fight. Kind of funny that the final boss in this game is usually like the first boss in Persona. That was the MVP right there, the Poo Snake. The world is now out of danger. Thanks to you all, the world is taking its first steps towards restoration. This banquet is for uniting our hearts to prepare for the future. I want you all to enjoy yourselves to the fullest. Shu, who did you end up picking, Cloak or Salia? What are you talking about? I really want to know. I mean, I did every side quest pointing towards him picking Salia, and he's an idiot if he doesn't. Hey, come on, we woke up in this era. There's no such thing as a past or present, so let's just enjoy this world. Right, thanks. If you're ever in trouble, just let me know. Okay, thanks, Shu. Just Shu? Hey, of course, you too, Jiro, Cloak, and Marumaru. I never once used you in this game. If you need any furnishings for your house, just say the word. I'll build anything for you. Call me if you're ever sick or hurt. Let me know if you need any recipes. Hey, let's just take it easy. Real easy. Don't punk me. I owe you so much. Do you suppose the ancient god sent you here to protect the world? My bond with the king has grown stronger. It's all thanks to you. Something to drink, Master EBF. You can go get it yourself, can't you? Everyone in this era is so kind-hearted. You can live here in peace. Thank you. Thanks so much, all of you. Hey, Shu, after the banquet, do you want to go somewhere far away? Sure, but what do you mean by far away? We can be together, it doesn't matter where we go, right? Shu. Yeah, that's what you get. You strung him and Jiro along for 2 games. Divi Tribe's Cheers Dance. Oh, this is really quite a strange dance. It's art. Art, really? What are you doing? Just what it looks like. This is a banquet, after all. The servant program inside me can't help but respond. Since there's so many guests, I'm sure the staff could use another set of hands. Admirable attitude. You just can't sit still. You're a guest after all, so you should just act like one. That's funny. You should have a servant program installed as well, Hinetto. I've deleted it. Everyone looks so happy. There are scores of things I must do to protect those smiling faces. Zola, I want you to continue aiding me. Yes, sire. These are all such great people. I came from another era, but they called me their friend. I'm glad I woke up in this era. I want to live in this era with all my friends. But I must go. My planet needs me. What's going on? Another calamity. Sire? Hey everybody, calm down. If, what did you do? Look at that. Is the planet gonna go back into being a sphere? What's that? What's happening? But that's... Is this ancient machine projecting that image? Made a copy. A copy that's in one piece. Amazing! Is all that really happening right now? There's no question. So this was a device to show us what's going on in space. New planet. Hitting the egg of light has returned to its true form. So a new world has just been born. Never thought I'd see such a miraculous sight at my age. Ah, the Ancient invented a vast array of things, I see. Legacy of the Ancients, eh? How strange. I don't know why, but I feel so nostalgic, looking at that planet. Can I make that planet an Unchikun planet? No way, the Devi Tribe will take it. Now I'm starting to get excited. Devi Tribe's excitement dance. I don't know about that. I have a feeling it's only going to bring more trouble. First, we've got to go explore it. You made that planet, right? Shu? Well, I guess you could say I did. I kind of felt it happening. Felt what? The Egg of Light wanted to be born. So... Awesome! That makes you the planet's dad! Shoo, can you find a better way of putting it? What does it matter? Anyway, let's go take a look. There's still so many mysteries to solve in this world.
Let's go. To a new planet.
So that ends the Blue Dragon trilogy. I mean, there's post-game stuff, but I'm not gonna do it. Like I already said, the grinding for levels in this game kinda takes forever. And I think the post-game stuff, you have to be, like, pretty high level to get through it all. Nah, man, like I said, she spent all of Blue Dragon and all of Blue Dragon Plus, like, stringing both Shu and Zero along. Whereas Salia was, like, from the first moment, like, interested in Shu, so... I felt like she deserved it. That would be interesting if they just out of nowhere came out with a Blue Dragon 4. Pluke's the villain because Salia got Shu. So considering I think this came out in 2010, suddenly making a new game 13 years, or 13, 14, 15 years later, whenever it would come out. Not to mention how few people probably played any of these games since 360 and then the second and third are on DS. Not to mention the fact that the second game is crazy frustrating to play. And then this one, I got through this one for a long time being underleveled. Right up until, you know, that second to last boss. And granted, it didn't take that much leveling to be able to beat him. It was still, like, the leveling is crazy slow. Apparently I was supposed to be stopping to grind at multiple points in the game where I just pushed forward without doing it. Yeah, and I think that's the post game is the new the new star, as they call it. Like I said, not going to do the grinding for that. So, yeah. We are done with Blue Dragon Awakened Shadow and the full Blue Dragon trilogy. So